Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Morning, Lieutenants, the old captain here, and this is not a video request, it's a Cappy original. So, had a very interesting comment. I think this is where people are misled, and I don't believe they're evil. I'm very judgmental, because for the most part I'm correct, and my faith in misanthropy and parasitism on the part of the left is usually well founded. However, this guy seemed intellectually honest, and when I get one of these things, and it's a good question, it's a very good question, I want to expound on that because other people might have a similar question, and hopefully I can answer it because it seems like this person wants to get down to what reality is. They don't just want to bitch and whine. It's like they say in the Marines, we don't want to hear problems, we want to hear solutions. Although maybe it was a guy in the Army that said that. I don't know. I'm sure they say it, but it's that's a great motto to live by. We don't want to hear problems, we want to hear solutions. Fucking Brits. So I took notes, and you know when I take notes, I'm pretty darn serious. Alright, so this commenter says, in regards to big jobless in Seattle, rise of the machines, what will business do when most jobs are automated? Who earn enough money to purchase their goods and services? Capitalism without employment to pay back into the system and keep it running is doomed to fail. I can see two possible outcomes, a point of bifurcation, which I don't know what that means, but I was too lazy to look it up. One, domesticate the automation systems and sell it to the masses so they can produce by themselves and for themselves the wealth they need. The whole 3D printing craze has just barely begun, but that technology is far from mature. Two, businesses will have to get together, create their own currency, and produce by themselves and for themselves without needing to sell to the masses. It will resemble more like a private garrison than a market economy. One way or the other, the market economy will cease to exist. It never will. It has been with us like human genetics. It will always exist. Just like the poor. The unified and global economy risks becoming a fractured and divided economy in the future, where the wealthy get together and live in their own microcosm, and where the masses will have to survive by their own means. Many McDonald's will eventually close due to lack of sales. Automation at one McDonald's restaurant will save this restaurant a lot of money in unpaid wages, but other businesses will follow suit and make mass layoffs. In the end, McDonald's will lose due to its customers lacking purchasing power. America risks becoming a three-tier economy where you have the super rich living together in automated, high-tech, self-sufficient, and heavily fortified gated communities that no longer need to interact with the rest of the world. A kind of elitist autarky and isolationism. That already kind of exists to a certain level. And it also pretty much has. What do you call castles back in the day? All right, so there is that again, the things that this guy is talking about have existed throughout all of time. It's to the severity, I guess, is what his concern is. Then this is the second tier. Then you'll have the rich who will get together, but with much less self-sufficiency, they will start to struggle to keep their lifestyles. A lot of them will fall to the poor class, and only a few of them will make it to the super rich class. Those medium rich are going to be the biggest losers of the upcoming paradigm shift, as the super rich takes it all. Then you have the masses who will be left behind to fend for their own with little to no resources except massive die-offs. But wait, weren't the machines going to make everything free? See, this is one of the flaws. Unless you start instituting universal guaranteed income, and here it comes always from the left, give us other money, automation will irredeemably fracture the economy in incompatible systems that no longer talk to each other. The super rich will grow to see the masses like insects. The laws will no longer apply equally to people. In fact, the poor will no longer be considered citizens. I don't know how that's going to happen, because the poor is going to so much outnumber the rich that they will vote in wealth distribution like they are today. At that point, the super rich will no longer need to make sales in order to maintain their automated power. They will become the law. Defense and protection will become their sole obsession, and they will have the means to make it happen. So be careful what you wish for. Newsflash, you are not amongst the super rich. Your resentment towards McPoor is much likely to come back to bite you. So this guy hates me a little bit. Maybe I overestimated his intellectual honesty. So now this is a concern that everyone has, like, oh my God, if we automate all the jobs, then there won't be any jobs, and then no one will be able to afford things. Okay, so let's operate on the, we're going to go through a couple flaws here, but he's wrong, and you're all wrong in one regard, and that is there's not going to be any jobs. There will. There are going to be different jobs. They may not be as glorious or glamorous jobs, but there are going to be jobs. And basically, there's going to be three groups of jobs, all right? The first is you're going to need computer programmers, some element of machinists and engineers to maintain this automated industry. Robots can create other robots, but we're never going to get to the point where robots will fully replace the human brain that is required to program these robots, not to mention create and innovate new products and services that have yet to be determined in the future. All right? So the computers, which are going to be finite, I know there's a lot of people think artificial intelligence is just around the corner. Terribly sorry, I don't think it's going to happen. And somebody can explain to me precisely how the Big Bang happens, then maybe I could start to believe in artificial intelligence where it can become creative and innovative. But you're going to need humans to take and program robots and these automated processes and these machines to adapt and change to the changing demands, whims, desires, creations, and innovations of an ever-changing human population. Humans are not static. They will change. And therefore their tastes and preferences will change, and whole new things will be created. And so there's always going to be a demand, not just for the new inventions and the new programming that is required from it, and the new machines that are required to be designed and built. You're also going to need engineers and so forth to actually repair. And you will never get rid of the human touch. So there's going to be this maintenance core, or this maintenance industry of computer programmers, computer scientists, robotic engineers, that type of thing. They'll be there. Another second group of people that'll still be employed are highly skilled humans. Doctors, dentists, lawyers. Again, things that you just need the human touch. And we can debate all you want. Well, surgery can be done by robots. And yeah, but judgments can't be done by robots. Okay? Therapists, there's another one. Lawyers debating and arguing in front of a judge. So there will be this, accountants. Okay, Bob, how do you want to deal with your accounting here? We can make this accounting assumption. We can go cash. We can go accrual. What do you want to do? Consultants, that type of thing. So these highly skilled professionals will always be in demand, no matter what. Now, both these first two groups of people are highly skilled. Engineers, doctors, the second lawyers, consultants, that type of thing. These are skilled people that will have to go and study a lot. And since they are basically maintaining and providing the core services, the key to the economy, the engine of the economy, they are going to command the vast majority of the income generated by this economy. And that's just too bad, because they're the ones that are producing all this shit. Now, you can debate and argue that we need wealth redistribution, which we already have. You can debate and argue for guaranteed income, and you can. But it doesn't change the fact that these are the real producers. They're the ones that you need. Okay? And the only way you're going to get the benefits, the fruits of their labor, is if you vote in a government that's going to force to take it from, which we do today. All this stuff has been happening. It's just called different shit. There is a basic guaranteed income. It's called welfare, SNAP, TANF, disability, Social Security, and Lord knows what all this other fucking bullshit the Democrats and the leftists has voted in. So it does exist. We just haven't called it basic guaranteed income. Matter of fact, I am for basic guaranteed income because it would streamline things and actually save us money, because we're already guaranteeing you income. But at least with guaranteed income, I would be totally for it if in order to get it, you had to sterilize yourself. You are not allowed to have children. You're not. And then I'd be totally for that. But it's alright. No, you're a parasite. Just admit it, you're a parasite if you require other people's money. Right? And the sad thing is, humans tend to breed up to the point that they consume all their resources, especially the poorer classes. Terribly sorry, it's true. And in Cappy's world, we deal with reality and truth. So if you want society to keep going on, it doesn't matter how great these robots are and how efficient they are, inevitably, it is whole Cappy's humble opinion, just like Africa, people will breed to the point of almost collapse and consuming all the resources. So if you're consuming and you're a parasite and you're producing and you decide that you want to live on other people have basic guaranteed income, no kids for you. What if my kid cures cancer? Ah, shut the fuck up. Your kid ain't gonna do nothing. He's gonna be a loser like you. Oh! So you have these two groups of highly specialized people. Now, what about the what you idiots like to call the 99%, but when in reality is more like the 63, 64%. Well, this is where they go into what I call the vanity services or the human services. Because no matter how many robots we get, no matter how automated we get, no matter how many computer programs we get, humans don't live for interaction with robots. Humans really don't live for food. We need food to survive. We need medical procedures to survive. But the number one reason that humans live, to truly live, is to spend time with other humans, to get human interaction. Oh yes, there's, go climb mountains and go on motorcycle rides and travel Europe. But usually you do this with other people. If you look at what drives the vast majority of human interaction, or human lives, or human people, it's for men getting laid and having children. And for women, it's collecting resources for men and having children to propagate your genes. That's the Darwinistic thing. But the other stuff is also social interaction, is to not just fall in love and have sex and be that Darwinistic or biological about it, but also to have fun, playing video games with your buddies, okay? Watching a movie with your friends, having great conversation with your spouse, whatever else. That is what humans aim for, is that human interaction, that human attention. And that is unfortunately going to become part of the economy. That's going to employ the vast majority of the unskilled class, if you want to call it that. Because guess what? We've always had this. It's always existed, just not in the extreme form that you're going to see theoretically in the future if the economy becomes this roboticized. So what am I talking about? I'm talking, okay, masseuse. Do you want a robot to give you a massage? No, typically you want the human touch. Not that you're going to fall in love or you're creepy and like, I want a human to touch me. But you typically want that human touch because there's something genetic and biological and satiating about that. Another perfect example is the service industry. You can have a robot, but I guarantee you there's going to be a group of people that basically, for whatever psychological reason, get a benefit from having other humans serve them. A little bit demeaning, yeah, I know, but that's what's, hey, it's not demeaning because we do appreciate good service and that's why we tip. But if you look at the wait industry or the service industry, the food industry, I guarantee you there's going to be rich people say, no, I want to pay for a human to deliver that to me. A robotic butler. You think there's going to be a robotic butler? A robotic nanny? No. What was the Jetsons? They had a robot nanny that kind of took care of the kids and the Jetsons. It's been so long since I saw it. They're going to want to still have human interaction. And guess what, ladies? Terribly sorry, prostitution's going to become huge. But oh wait, prostitution is the oldest profession, and as I said before, has existed always in the human world. So that's going to employ the majority of people. But, and here's the other good thing, they're going to have this type of human service. I don't want to say prostitutes or slavery because you will be getting paid, but it kind of, well, we could say fourth. Let's make it a fourth group. I was going to say it's unskilled and skilled, but let's make this a separate, totally fourth thing. It's not all going to be sucky and bad. You want to know why? Because if things are that automated, your basic sustenance, your basic food, clothing, and shelter is going to be totally cheap. And you can get by, and here's like where there's going to be a little bit of happiness, and our future entrepreneurs will come from. The artisans, the artists, the musicians, the creators and innovators, the architects. These people are going to be able to pursue their passion because if we roboticize and streamline everything, food, clothing, shelter will start to approach free. Oh, there's always going to be some cost involved, but if it gets that cheap, things are that processed and automated, things are going to approach zero cost. And they'll never attain zero cost. You're always asymptotically approaching zero cost. But that's the whole concept of an advancing economy. And this is why, even though we still have poor and rich in the United States, the poor today are infinitely better off than the poor 100 years ago, certainly 1,000 years ago. Our rich, the rich of 1,000 years ago are nowhere near as good off as our poor. Again, these processes have been always taking place. So with all this food, clothing, and shelter, all these things that have plagued humanity, in which the vast majority of human time has been spent just trying to solve, has essentially been, look, food, we got so much food, we're getting fat. Okay, we've solved food, which is a huge fucking deal. With all these major problems solved, we're approaching zero in cost. You can actually go and become a shitty-ass musician in Seattle. You can actually go to Le Cordon Bleu and become a shitty-ass chef. You can go and write your shitty-ass book that no one wants and sell 20 copies. Because in selling 20 copies, making that little bit amount of money, you can actually afford a house. In theory down the road. If we get to this point that all jobs are almost eliminated. So that effective fourth group of people, well, isn't that going to make you happy? Well, here's the problem. No, because see, this has been happening all the time, and this guy, he's just an envious little fuck. He's still pissed off that other people are going to have other money, and this is envy, and this is what will destroy the human race, if anything, because it destroyed Soviet Russia, it destroyed China, it destroyed North Korea, it destroyed North Vietnam, it destroyed Venezuela, it's destroyed Cuba. This envy where, hey, we're infinitely better off? What, we don't have polio anymore? Well, that guy has 25 cents more, and that guy's a proletariat or bourgeoisie rat bastard. That son of a bitch has an extra nickel than I do. The fear of also an automation and there's no jobs. You don't understand that the automation will make everything so much more cheaper that you don't need to be a rich rat bastard to afford everything. But in your mind, you don't care about that because it's human nature, especially among leftists, to not care about how good you got it. You don't care about like, wow, I've got vaccinations, everyone's living past the age of 35, the surgery's gone way down cheaper and technology, but some asshole, some cocksucking motherfucking piece of shit over at Medtronic who made my heart valve allow me to live another 30 years, that bastard made $100 million off of that idea. I didn't make $100 million. All that fucker did was extend my life. For 50 cents, that thing costs 50 cents if it's totally automated. And that's the real issue. That's the non-economic, non-scientific, non-mathematical issue that gets to the heart of this, fear of automation, and we need guaranteed income. Your guaranteed income is coming in the fact that things are going to be dirt fucking cheap if it gets to that level of automation. You won't really need that much of a guaranteed income. And you can do some piss-ass job like being a waiter 5 hours a week, 5 hours a day even if you wanted to. You're actually going to run into problems that you're going to be so fucking bored everything's going to be so automated that you're going to have to find something to do. So you will there'll be a huge renaissance. I mean, a lot of it's going to be shitty-ass art like we have over at these minimalist in the public art schools and art school. I love that. You got to go to art or music school. You're not an artist or a musician. Anyway, the real issue. So before I get ahead of myself, your guaranteed income is going to come in the form of super low cost of goods. The real issue is whether you're going to appreciate that or you're going to be your typical mentally inferior leftists and demand other people who have it better than you, that you get their money when you really haven't done anything to earn it. Which, again, has been with us. That's all politics has ever been, is lazy people want to live off of and parasite off of the ones they're envious of, and that is the productive and rich people. Now, I understand. I'm not talking inheritance. I'm not talking people like Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Barack Obama, and all these other, Hillary Clinton, and all these other rich fuckers who are Republican conservative bastards that inherited money from their parents. Oh, wait, those are all Democrats. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting it doesn't matter with politics. But they're your guys, right? So, let us take a lesson in economics about the roboticized economy. Don't worry about it. If the economy gets roboticized, that's great because then things are going to get dirt fucking cheap. The real issue is human psychology and you can't even call it emotion. It's petty envy. That's what you have to look out for. We can have an economy. We can get there closer if people start pushing towards innovation, capitalism, freedom, free markets. Again, admittedly, not crony capitalism, not corruption. I understand that. We can advance technologies. We can push our champions to build better, vaccines, better technologies, automate the economy as quickly as possible, lower the costs and goods and standards of everything for everyone, make it so that everybody has a great standard of living because everything's so cheap. But get off this fucking kick that you deserve more, that you deserve other people's wealth and other people's income. Let go of the envy, man, because you're going to pass up on a great life. You're going to pass up on a great fucking life of leisure. And because if you're obsessed that somebody has more than you, that's going to taint and ruin the rest of your life. You got pretty much free everything. Free markets will make things effectively free. Never again we go to that asymptotic level. But if you're going to bitch and whine that you only make $1,000 a year, meanwhile your house costs $50, you can buy a house cash outright, and that the technology advanced to the point you can live 150 years, and you're bitching and whining because somebody has an extra $2,000, well, fuck you. You're a parasite, you're petty, you're envious, you're greedy, and you're just an inferior human. So start thinking about what life is really about. Start thinking about what you want to live your life for. Do you want to live it being envious of what other people have, or being happy with what you got? That's all we got. Toodles.